All is Fountain Powerboats. I've got Lucky Strike. I've got Little Caesars in the middle of your picture. Hawk Power on the outside of Little Caesars. Spirit of America is coming into the picture, and Maxim is on the far outside. There you see Hawk Power and the pace boat with the yellow flag still elevated on the far outside of the race course. From my vantage point right here, everything seems to be very clean right now. All the boats are in their own lanes, have their own natural water, and we've got the green flag and we are racing. There you see it, Lucky Strike, middle of your picture, going out there quickly. Little Caesars hanging right with him, Fountain going with him also. Lucky Strike taking a quick lead, Little Caesars right there. Fountain boat hanging tough, dropping back slightly. Little Caesars and Lucky Strike exploding at the start and taking the quick lead. Maxim on the outside is right there with Lucky Strike. Here comes Eric's Reality coming into your picture. What a story this guy's been. He's at 3 first place already this year, and he's definitely the boat to beat here today. And he's coming into your picture. Fountain dropping back a little. Eric's Reality going up. There's Hawk Marine Power right there in your middle of your picture, running with the Fountain boat. And here it is, the long-anticipated arrival of the new Jesse James. It is finally out here, and today it's his maiden voyage. We wish Chris Lavin and the rest of the Jesse James crew nothing but the best in their new conquest. And there's Eric's Reality. Maxon on the outside, Little Caesars, Lucky Strike. Eric's Reality coming up with this group. Maxon takes a quick lead. Eric's Reality hanging tough with Lucky Strike right there. That is your lead group. Maxon taking a quick lead. Eric's Reality right now in second place, and Lucky Strike dropping back to third place. Very good start right now. And Little Caesars is back in the picture. So I've got Little Caesars dueling it out for third place right now with Lucky Strike, and he seems to be slightly nudging ahead for third place at this point in the race. There's Jesse James right there in fifth place right now. Hawk Marine Power in the middle of your pack, dropping back slightly. Maxon's dueling it out with Eric's Reality, Lucky Strike, Little Caesars right now. And there's Spirit of America coming into the picture. Maxon and Eric's Reality right now 1-2 as they round the buoy. And here is the Maxon race team. This 35-foot TDC racing catamaran is powered by twin 800 horsepower Maxon motion inboards with Keykefer outdrives. There you see him dueling with Eric's Reality. The owner of Maxon is Tim Sisuli of Bernardsville, New Jersey. Tim is doing the driving, and on throttles he's got Harry Weltman from St. Cloud, Florida. What a duel right here going on right now with Eric's Reality and Maxon. Side by side offshore powerboat racing. This is some super stuff right here. These guys are going all out. It gets no better than this. The APBA providing the best offshore powerboat racing in the country, and it's all come together in Sarasota for today's race, and you're watching two of the best right now. Sisuli dueling it out with Eric's Reality. And there's Little Caesars coming into the picture. Little Caesars overtaking Eric's Reality, charging past Sisuli in Maxon. Little Caesars, Maxon, and here comes Jesse James into your picture. What a pretty looking boat this brand new Conquest is. This boat has been in development for many years right now, in construction for a while, and it's finally come out here for today's voyage, and it looks very impressive right now. Jesse James. Little Caesars is running in first. Maxon is there. Jesse James has sneaked into third place. Little Caesars slightly ahead of Tim Sisuli's Maxon race team. And here comes Spirit of America on the outside of Jesse James, looking very strong. He came right by Jesse, and he's on his way heading toward the lead pack. Spirit of America. This Spirit of America is a 35-foot Jaguar catamaran powered by twin 900 horsepower Gentry inboards with Keykefer outdrives. John Antonelli has this boat pegged right now. He's making a move and he's blistering up the race course right now. There he is dueling with Maxim in the middle of your picture and Little Caesars on the outside. Antonelli really has this boat dialed in right now. John Antonelli is your driver from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and right now the guy who's really got that throttle pegged down to the dash is Jack Clark from Pembroke Park, Florida, who's doing an excellent job right now. He's winding out these Gentry inboards with everything they've got, and they're producing. Just listen to this boat go. As you can see right now, Antonelli's making a strong move. But Maxon on the far outside you saw is hanging tough. Little Caesars is also there. Eric's Reality still in the thick of things. There's Eric's Reality slightly ahead. Lucky Strike coming up right now to challenge Antonelli. So Antonelli made the move. The other boats saw what they had to do. Everyone's dialed it up a notch right now. And in the early stages of a race, we've got a flat-out drag race going. And this is some excellent offshore racing right now. John Antonelli's Spirit of America. Antonelli would love to have a good, strong finish right here. He's presently in second place in the open class behind John D'Elia's Special Edition. He had a first in last race, so he would love to duplicate that feat. There you see Antonelli dueling with Lucky Strike in the middle of your picture, Eric's Reality on the far outside. From Sarasota, Florida, John Antonelli's Spirit of America. John Antonelli's Spirit of America, looking very competitive right now at the early stages of the race. Now we're coming up to Tim Sisuli's Maxon race team once again. Little Caesars still ahead of Maxon. This has been the duel that's been waging since the very start of the race, and it is still continuing on right now. This 35-foot TDC racing catamaran is looking very good right here. And the Maxon Motion inboards, what can we say? They're certainly doing the job with those twin 800 horsepower motors. They're tucked into that racing capsule. They have that windshield slanted back, and a lot of research has gone into a very safe racing capsule, which everyone feels much more comfortable with right now on the race course. Sisuli from Bernardsville, New Jersey, has had a slow start this year for the '89 campaign. He did not start in the first two races, had a disappointing 8th place finish in our last race, but he certainly hopes to atone right now, and the way he's going, This Maxon race team is going all out right now. They're sounding very strong. They're definitely competing very well right now. There you get an idea and an up-close view of those Keycafer outdrives, and they're really doing some motion right now. Look at this picture and listen to the sound. Good up-close view of those Keycafer outdrives. You really get an idea of the revolutions that those propellers are making at these speeds. What a great shot that was of the Keycafer drives on the Maxon race team. Tim Sasuli's Maxon Racing. Now we have Gary Johnson in Copter 2 bringing you the M&P start of today's race. We've got Dollar Marine, Agitator, East Coast Marine, Team Skater, Eastern Express, Miss Don Q, Ocean Outboard, Risky Business, High Risk, and many more. But right now at the start, the story is Ed Collier's Dollar Marine taking off. Collier's got those throttles pegged, and he's doing a great job. Ed Collier from Miami, Florida, with his new 32-foot skater, is powered by twin 645 horsepower United Racing inboards with Merc Cruiser outdrives. He's got Agitator going out with him in second place. Collier's doing a great job, and Larry Van Amity is his driver from St. Clair Shores, Michigan. So right now, quickly in the start, you've got Dollar Marine in first place and Agitator in second place. Ed Collier doing a great job at the start here today in Sarasota. Dollar Marine. He's off to a fantastic start. He's starting to spread the gap between himself and your second place boat. This boat is dialed in. Collier's really done his homework for this race, and he's looking very strong right now. Now we're on Chairman of the Board race team. As they round that turn, you still have the lead group of boats, and Nuri Tsubuchi has crept into it. Little Caesars is there. Eric's Reality is there. Maxon is still in this group. You've got Lucky Strike. We see Nuri Tsubuchi's Chairman of the Board on the inside, Lucky Strike in the middle of your picture, Eric's Reality on the far outside, Maxon slightly ahead of them on the middle of your picture. Right there you see the rooster tail from them. So you've got Maxim, Eric's Reality, Lucky Strike, and Chairman of the Board, boat number 55. This is a 39-foot Cougar catamaran powered by twin 750 horsepower Lamborghini inboard motors with Keycafer outdrives. This boat is owned and driven by Nuri Tsubuchi from Rochester, New York. Chairman Racing Corporation from Rochester owns the boat. Nuri Tsubuchi does the driving, and on throttles you've got Harold Stepp from Altamont Springs, Florida. There you got a picture of the lead group. Nuri Tsubuchi's Chairman of the Board on the inside, Tim Sasuli's Maxim race team right there. Lucky Strike is in the middle of your picture, and Eric's Reality is on the far outside. Nuri Tsubuchi having a very good run. Nuri Tsubuchi already has a second place finish under his belt this year. He's presently running in 5th place in the open class, so a strong performance here would certainly catapult him into the top 3 perhaps. Nuri Sabuchi and Harold Stepp are the chairman of the board race team. There you get a good look at this chairman of the board race team, and you can really get an idea of the power that these Lamborghini motors is putting out right now. Chairman of the board, the 39-foot Cougar catamaran powered by these Lamborghini motors. Sabuchi and Stepp enjoying a very strong ride right now in chairman of the board. And there you see them passing Maxim on the far outside. Maxim, who's been running great all day, is still enjoying a good run, hanging with the lead pack of boats, but it gives you some idea of just how strong Nuri Sabuchi's chairman of the board is running, because he has now overtaken Tim Sisuli in the Maxim race team. There you get an idea of some of the distance that Sabuchi is putting between himself and Maxim race team. That's Jesse James, who seemed to be having a problem. He was coming off plane, sitting in the water. Could be some mechanical failures for Jesse James' maiden voyage. We hope it's nothing serious, and we look forward to seeing them throughout the race. But right now the story is Nuri Sabuchi's chairman of the board having a very good run right here in Sarasota. Here we have Sheer Delight, the black cougar on the inside, and Peter Hidalgo's American Dream going by on the outside. Hidalgo is in a hunt right now with Joey Imprecia's East Coast Marine in the M class. They're dueling very strong right now. Imprecia is leading the M class right now. But right now we're on Sheer Delight race team. This is a 38-foot all-black Cougar catamaran powered by twin 700 horsepower Merc Cruiser inboards with number 4 Merc Cruiser drives. This boat is throttled by David Fernandez, and it is driven by Ed Shear, who is your driver-owner. David Fernandez, great racing lineage behind him. He left the Dam Carrera race team, Spirit Special, and Hawk Marine Power to throttle on this new 38-foot black Cougar cat. He's doing a great job, and he has a lot of experience from the other teams. David Fernandez, who can forget his exploits with Mandy Fernandez and the entire Dam Carrera race team and the other teams that he's been with, has come aboard here to join Ed Shear to form the Sheer Delight race team. And right now they are a sheer delight to watch. Just look at this boat go. If it looks familiar to you, it is. It's Bob Kaiser's old Systems race boat, and they've picked it up and they're bringing it out right now to have a very good run. Just listen to this boat go. They seem very comfortable right now, as you can see. Not pressing too hard, but this boat is sounding very strong and running very comfortably right now in these waters. In the open class, they'll be dueling with Special Edition, Hawk Marine Power, just to name a few who are in the hunt right now with Ed Shear's Sheer Delight. It's an ominous-looking boat, and we wish them all the best in Sarasota, Florida. Ed Shear's Sheer Delight. Ed Sheeran and David Fernandez very comfortable in sheer delight right now. And here you see them around the checkpoint, heading down the race course with the beautiful city of Sarasota in the background. Now we come up on Agitator M10. This 32-foot skater catamaran with its very bright paint job is powered by twin 650 horsepower Chevy United racing inboards with Merc Cruiser outdrives. This boat is owned and driven by Alan Dunteman from Oak Brook, Illinois, and on throttles we've got Kirk Dunteman from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The Agitator race team running very strong right now. Agitator is in a duel with East Coast Marine, Special Edition, Eastern Express Enterprises, American Dream, who you saw earlier on. And the Duntemans are running very strong right now in this point of the race. Listen to them go. Already under the Duntemans' belt, they've taken a fourth, first, and a second place to put them in, actually tied for the lead in the modified class. So with another strong finish here, the Duntemans will stay atop the modified division. So we'll have to wait and see what happens to Kirk and Alan Dunteman of the Agitator race team. Now we come up on Joey and Precious East Coast Marine Race Team, M5. This 32-foot superboat catamaran is powered by twin 655 horsepower Lightning Performance inboards with Merc Cruiser drives. There you see him going by, I believe that's Ravon, a smaller boat. This boat is owned and throttled by Joey and Pressure from Amity Harbor, New York, and East Coast Marine. This boat is driven by Joe Detour from Ronkonkoma, New York. So, with Impressure on throttles, Joe Detour as your driver, they make up the impressive East Coast Marine Offshore race team. And this boat is putting on an impressive performance right now. Joey and Pressure, what can we say? He's been around racing for many, many years, provides a lot of knowledge and ability, and just some great sportsmanship out here on the race course. He's truly one of the best throttlemen in the business today, and he brings it all out here with East Coast Marine. Just look at this boat go. They're doing in speeds of excess of 100 miles per hour and just tearing up the race course. At the present time, East Coast Marine is running in first place in class, and not only running in first, but they seem to be dominating right now in the M class. Eastern Express Enterprise and Special Edition is hanging with them, but Joey and Pressure is just making it very difficult. Look at that close-up shot of those outdrives. Here you get some idea of a ground level shot of just how fast this boat is moving. We're going well over 100 miles per hour, and Impression and Detour really feel comfortable in this boat. The Superboat Cat is doing a great job, and the motors are just responding to every command that Impression is making. They're dominating right now at this point in the race. Joey Impression East Coast Marine has also lent a great hand in helping out the Freeze Frame video staff, and for that we'd certainly like to extend our thanks and wish them all the best here today in Sarasota. Joey Impression at the present time is running 4th place overall in divisional points in his class, but that is deceiving because he's only entered one race, and that was in Marathon, where he took a 1st place, did not start in the other races, and he's come down here today for the race in Sarasota, and he's presently running in 1st place here. It seems that when Joe Impression puts his mind to it and brings the East Coast Marine race team to a race, he dominates as he has in the past. From Sarasota, Florida, Joey Impression's M5 East Coast Marine. We've been watching a true champion at work, and part of the reason this boat is doing so well is the Lightning Performance inboards. They're responding very well right now, a very well-built race motor, and Joey Impression is doing a great job with them as he throttles, and you can listen to these Lightning Performance inboard motors do their thing. From Sarasota, Florida, East Coast Marine. Now we come up on US 1, your reigning national champ, John D'Elia's 35-foot Jaguar catamaran known as Special Edition. This boat is powered by twin 750 horsepower Merc Cruiser inboards with Merc Cruiser drives. This boat is owned and driven by John D'Elia from Greenwich, Connecticut, and on throttles we have his son J.D. D'Elia from Coscob, Connecticut. The father-son team of the D'Elias, national champions in Special Edition, have been enjoying a fantastic 89 campaign. They've taken already, they're in 1st place in their division, and they have 2 first places and a 2nd place already under their belts for 89. And just look how comfortable this Cougar race hull, this Jaguar catamaran is looking right now at this point in the race. Since John and his son JD have teamed up, they've had nothing but success. And with this new 35-foot Jaguar catamaran and the input that Merc Cruiser has put into this boat, John D'Elia and his son JD have really come together and developed into one of the finest race teams on the racing circuit today. They're truly superstars on the APBA circuit, and they're doing a great job. Your defending champions in class, John D'Elia and his son JD from Greenwich, Connecticut in the Special Edition race team. They're running very strong right now at this point of the race, but they have their work cut out for them as they'll be dueling with Sheer Delight and Hawk Marine Power. We wish them nothing but the best, John D'Elia and JD from Sarasota, Florida in the Special Edition race team. There we come in on a close-up of John DeLea and JD tucked away snugly in their racing cockpits right there. A very fine shot. They're enjoying a very fine run today. You've just been seeing two champions do what they do best, and Special Edition enjoyed a very fine run in this stretch of the race right now. Now we're coming up on the S-start. Gary Johnson once again in copter number 2. An exclusive feature of Freeze Frame Video. In our quest to bring you nothing but the best and cover all divisions for the APBA and offshore powerboat racing, we have another camera here to bring you the exciting S-start. And right now we've got a great start. You've got Skater Express taking a quick lead. Hat Trick is right there and Vigilante hanging tough with them. The S-class of racing. It is definitely the most exciting part of racing in the APBA circuit. You ask why? Reason being, these are true stock boats. Everyone is running with the same type of hull, same type of motor, so it is very difficult to have a clear winner. Each week it changes, and it makes for some of the greatest excitement, and it is certainly a fan favorite here in the APBA, the stock class. Everyone loves it, and here you're getting a taste of what it's all about. Right there, your first 3 boats in the picture. On the inside, Skater Express, Hat Trick in the middle of your picture, and Vigilante on the outside. A great start, a clean one, and we've got some good racing going on right now with the stock boats. Skater Express taking a slight lead over Hat Trick. Let's learn about the Skater Express race team, S99. It's a 24-foot skater catamaran powered by twin 200 horsepower Mercury outboards. This boat is owned by Glazer Marine Incorporated of St. Louis, Missouri. This boat is being driven by Joe Jacobson of St. Louis, Missouri, and on throttles you've got Chick Hackman from Grieve Cover, Missouri. The team of Hackman and Jacobson making up the exciting Skater Express race team. Skater Express has been enjoying a very good campaign so far for 89. They're presently in first place with a first place finish and 2 seconds under their belt already, and they look to improve here today in Sarasota. But as you can see, the competition is tough and everyone is hanging tough. Hat Trick and Vigilante is right there. Look at them coming up. Hat Trick in the middle of your picture, Vigilante, that sleek blue boat on the outside. And there you see some of the many spectators who have come out from Sarasota to view this very exciting race, and they're certainly getting their money's worth here today. No one's getting cheated with a competition here in Sarasota. In the stock class right now, less than 400 points separates your first place boat and your fourth place boat. Just giving you an example and illustrating just how competitive and closely matched these boats are in stock class. Extremely exciting. And Freeze Frame has made the commitment to bring you all of this coverage. Gary Johnson doing a great job covering the S-Class for us today. We certainly hope you enjoy some of this racing. And as you can see right now, you've got some of the best racing going on. Vigilante and Hat Trick taking a slight lead now over Skater Express. Very good racing. Sit back and enjoy some of the best that the APBA has to offer in stock class. In the middle of your picture, running with the lead group of boat, that's S17, Hat Trick. It is also a 24-foot skater catamaran powered by twin 200 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned and driven by Marshall Booter Jr. from Kirkwood, Missouri, and on throttles he's got Terry L. Ayers from St. Charles, Missouri. The team of Air and Booter making up the Hat Trick race team. And the competition is very tough right now. You've still got Skater Express on the inside, Hat Trick on the inside, Vigilante on the outside. Now we come up on S6, the boat known as Sunfire. There's a 24-foot Douglas skater powered by twin 200 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned and driven by Noel Friedley from Michigan City, Indiana, and on throttles he's got Tad Kimes from Key West, Florida. Who can forget Tad Kimes from Key West was the throttle man with the Crime Buster race team. He has teamed up with Noel Friedley here for today's race, and they're doing an excellent job. The Sunfire race team. Sunfire is presently 6th place in the national point standings in the stock class. He's finished all his races, but he would certainly love to improve and have a top 3 finish here today in Sarasota. Noel Friedley and Tad Kimes making up the Sunfire race team. And coming up on Sunfire, it's a Bermuda racing team, S1. The boat with Derek Simmons and Anthony Stoneham on board, looking very competitive as they pass Sunfire. The Bermuda race team going by Sunfire race team. But Sunfire hanging tough, charging hard, and coming up with that lead pack of boats you saw earlier on with Hat Trick, Vigilante, and Skater Express. Sunfire seems to be catching up to the lead pack of boats. We see a lot of wakes there that Sunfire is coming up to. Everybody seems to be slowing down. This is definitely an interesting shot. Skater Express on the inside. Sunfire middle of your picture. Hat Trick is there. Vigilante on the far outside. Not quite sure what's going on. They seem to be lost, I would have to say, at this point in the race. There's Vigilante. Everyone is just coming off plane. They seem to be sitting in the race course. Not quite sure where they are. From our vantage point, it would have to seem that they all followed one lead boat who definitely made some wrong turns. Everyone was going with Vigilante, who made some wrong turns, and they were lost, but everyone seems to be back on track right now. Now we come up on S-125, the race team known as Assault. This 25-foot motion catamaran is powered by twin 200 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. On the far outside, that's Hat Trick dueling with the Assault race team. Assault race team is owned by Ivo Rivero from Deerfield Beach, Florida. Driving today is Peter Rivero from Miami, Florida, and on throttles, Robert Gallen from Miami, Florida. Gallen and Rivero making up the Assault race team, and they are certainly assaulting the race course right now. They're running with that lead pack of boats, as you get an idea right there. Hat Trick flying on the outside. Assault hanging tough in the middle of the picture right now. The Assault race team enjoying a very good run right here in S-Class. In the Superboat class, Lucky Strike, Little Caesars, Eric's Reality, Chairman of the Board still dueling it out. Open, Sheer Delight, Hawk Marine Special Edition going at it. Joey Impression tearing up the race course in M-Class and East Coast Marine. High Risk, Miss Don Q, Talon are going at it in the Pro Stock, and in Stock Class it's too close to call. Vigilante, Hat Trick, Skater Express, Rave On, Conch Attack, Assault, they're all in it right now, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. Very good racing right now. The Assault Race Team would like to extend a special thanks to Jay Pellini from Motion Marine for putting the boat together and dialing it in for this first race all season. We wish everyone all the best at Motion Marine and Assault Race Team from Sarasota, Florida. It's S125, the Assault Race Team, enjoying a very good run. Ocean Outboard having a very good run right now at this point in the race. Ocean Outboard is an exclusive skater dealer in Lynbrook, New York, and they also service high-performance race boats as well as pleasure boats. Ocean Outboard, they bring all their research and technology that they learn in the shop out to the race course and then bring it back to their customer back home. They do a great job here, as they do at Ocean Outboard in New York. Anthony Caligari and John Shields, the Ocean Outboard Race Team from Sarasota, Florida. Ocean Outboard. And on the outside of your screen, that's the boats from Bermuda. Bermuda Racing right there. On the outside, different class boats, so it's not a problem. A P boat passing a stock boat. Now we have Miss Don Q and High Risk dueling head-to-head in class. Two P boats going right at it. Miss Don Q with a slight lead over High Risk Race Team. This is a very competitive duel right now. Miss Don Q is first place overall in class, and High Risk is presently in 5th place in class, but there's a mere 400 points separating these two boats. So a big finish here today for position is certainly going to be critical in the point standing in the Pro Stock class. These are your 1-2 boats right now. Miss Don Q presently in 1st place in class, High Risk in 2nd place. From High Risk, now we go back over to Miss Don Q. Both boats neck and neck right now at this point in time. Miss Don Q is a 32-foot Douglas skater catamaran, and High Risk is also a 32-foot boat, but it is just a skater catamaran. There you see them neck and neck as they're rounding the checkpoint boats. It's anyone's race right now in the Pro Stock class. Miss Don Q had to slow down to come in around the checkpoint, and High Risk slid by on the inside, now on the outside of the course, and was able to take first place. What a great maneuver that was right there. So now High Risk is taking first place, and Miss Don Q has dropped back to second. But as you can see, the distance is so negligible that it really doesn't matter right now. Both of these competitors have each other in their sights, and they know they're going to be dueling right to the finish. Let's highlight the hard-charging P71 high-risk race team. This 32-foot skater catamaran is powered by three 250-horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned and throttled by Richard Herman Felsen from Great Neck, New York, and driving today he's got John Engel from Seminole, Florida. The crew of Felsen and Engel making up the high-risk race team, and they're having a very competitive run with Miss Don Q, which you were viewing earlier on. There's a mere 412 points separating Miss Don Q and High Risk, as we said earlier on. So a great performance today by High Risk Race Team will put them in a commanding position right up with Miss Don Q in class. So we'll have to wait and see, because it's going to be between Miss Don Q and High Risk. But right now, as you can see, High Risk is charging down this race course, running very well right now. This skater's doing a great job. He's got his kind of water. You see Sarasota in the background, and just look at the High Risk Race Team charge down this race course. These Mercury outboards are doing a job, and the 32-foot hull of the skater catamaran is performing quite admirably. Combination skater catamaran with these Mercury outboards, and the teamwork of Felsen and Engel have made the High Risk Race Team the true champs that they are. We've just been viewing a great run. Rich Felsen really has the High Risk Race Team dialed in quite nicely today, and he's charging very hard right now. He's going to be tough to catch. But now we come up on Felson's arch nemesis, P88, the Miss Don Q race team. This is the 32-foot Douglas skater catamaran powered by three 265 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned and throttled by Felix J. Sorales III from Mercadita, Puerto Rico, and driving we've got Juan O. Sorales, also hailing from Mercadito, Puerto Rico, the Miss Don Q Rum race team. Felix and Juan have enjoyed a very fine 1989 campaign. They've had 2 first places already this year, and they're sitting atop the Pro Stock division in first place with 912 points right now. They're being trailed by Ocean Outboard, who you saw earlier on, First Defense, Risky Business, and Rich Felson's High Risk Race Team, who is running very strong. You saw that. But Miss Don Q is charging hard and closing the gap. Unofficially, Felson in High Risk is in first place, followed by the Soraleses, who are right now in second place in the Miss Don Q Rum race team. Great racing. It's going to be close to call. We'll have to wait and see how the Pro Stock unfolds at this race in Sarasota. From Sarasota, Florida, P88, the Miss Don Q Rum race team. Miss Don Q Rum enjoying a very fine race today. The Soraleses look very comfortable, tucked in their sleek racing capsules right there. This boat is maintained by John Sherlock, and he does a fine job being part of the Miss Don Q Rum race team. These Mercury outboards are purring right now. Just listen to the motion that these guys are producing right now. The Mercury is a fine name in offshore powerboat racing. Are doing a great job right here on the Miss Don Q Rum race boat. There you see some of their checkered flags on the side of the boat, and a good up front look, in close, in tight, where Freeze Frame likes to get to bring you to this picture of Miss Don Q Rum. Well, from my vantage point, it's going to be too tough to call. Rich Felson's High Risk Race Team is running very strong, just as Soraleses are in Miss Don Q Rum. So obviously it's going to go right down to the wire to see who's going to take Pro Stock. Is it going to be Rich Felson's High Risk Race Team or the Soraleses and Miss Don Q Rum? We'll just have to wait and see as this race begins to unfold in Sarasota, Florida. Now we come up on M4, Eastern Express Enterprises. This 30-foot shadow catamaran is powered by twin 500 horsepower Chevy inboard motors with Merc Cruiser outdrives. This boat is owned by Eastern Express Enterprises from Madison Heights, Michigan. Your driver today is Joe Bresciami from St. Clair Shores, Michigan. John Avery is your navigator, and on throttles you've got Werner Bolzler, also from St. Clair Shores, Michigan. The Eastern Express Enterprises, they're having a relatively strong campaign for 1989. They're presently in third place in points behind Team Skater and Agitator. They've had a third, and a fourth place already this year, and they're running unofficially at the present time in second place behind Joey and Precious, East Coast Marine, who we saw earlier on. East Coast Marine is going to be very tough to catch right now, but Eastern Express Enterprises seems to have a very solid hold on second place in class. The 30-foot shadow catamaran, certainly a proven race hull. It's been around for many years, and it's still on the course doing an admirable job. From Sarasota, Florida, M4, the Eastern Express Enterprise Race Team. Boat number 26, Hawk Racing. This is a 38-foot cigarette powered by twin 750 horsepower Twin Hawk motors. This boat is rigged by Hawk Marine. It is owned by Mandy Fernandez, who is also doing the throttling. It is being driven by Johnny Tomlinson, and your navigator is Eddie Armini. Crew chief, Skip Trent. This crew has been together for quite a while, and they're doing a great job. Mandy Fernandez has been on the circuit for many, many years, and he's got a lot of proven race history behind him, and he's certainly one of the best throttle men in the business. And this boat has been coming together for them as of late recently. They're presently in fourth place in class nationally, and they're having a very good run today. With some of the casualties that have already taken place on the race course, which does seem to be the prevailing story of today's race in Sarasota, they're presently in second place, running behind Sheer Delight and holding off Special Edition. So with the casualties and with the steady running, Mandy Fernandez and the Hawk Racing powered boat here, they are in the thick of things, and they're running in the lead group in the open class. So that is certainly a credit to Mandy Fernandez and all the wisdom that he has gained in running with all these years of offshore powerboat racing. Mandy knew what to do, and it's obviously paid off because he is running at the head of the pack in his class. They seem very comfortable in the cockpit right now, and the attitude of the boat seems very confident. They're looking very good here from Sarasota. Hawk Racing Power headed up by Mandy Fernandez. Eddie Armani, as navigator, is doing a fine job in one of his first races. He recently was the crew chief on the boat, but he has been promoted to navigator under the direction of Mandy Fernandez's Hawk Marine Power. We wish him a good ride today. Eddie Armani, your navigator for Hawk Marine. Mandy Fernandez and the entire Hawk Marine Power crew are doing an excellent job here today. Now we come up on Team Skater M32. This is a 32-foot Douglas Skater catamaran powered by twin 540 Lightning Performance inboards with Kike for outdrives. This boat is owned by Offshore Technologies Incorporated from Rocky River, Ohio. On throttles, we've got James Q. Dyke from Bay Village, Ohio. Your navigator and driver is Kevin C. Brown from Rocky River, Ohio. The crew of Brown and Dyke make up the Team Skater race team, and they're looking very good right now at this point in the race. Team Skater nationally has taken a second, a fourth, and a first so far this year in the '89 campaign, thus putting them in a tie for the lead with Agitator race team, the Duntamans from Oak Brook, Illinois, who we saw earlier on. So it is a very competitive race here right now in the M class. It's going to be between Agitator, Team Skater for your national points, so they need a good finish here today. Team Skater having a very good run right now, and that 32-foot Douglas Skater is an ominous looking boat. Just listen to these lightning performance inboards. Brown and Dyke seem to be tucked in quite nicely in their racing capsules. A sleek-looking boat with the racing capsules, the Lightning Performance inboard motors, these Keykefer drives, the 32 Douglas Skater catamaran, all combining to make Team Skater the true champion that they have been so far this year. And we wish them all the best as they charge very hard, as you can hear, in Sarasota. From Sarasota, Florida, M32, Team Skater. From Team Skater, we come up to Team Hydratech Powerboats. Team Hydra, P99, this sleek, all-black, 32-foot Hydratech catamaran is powered by three 250 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. And for the exclusive coverage of Team Hydra, freeze-frame video exclusively using the two helicopter chute. As you can see, it enables you to view this racecraft from the starboard side as well as the port side. Freeze Frame, constantly striving to bring you excellent coverage of offshore powerboat racing. Right there in helicopter number 2, that is being piloted by Merlin Blythe. Tom Russell is the spotter, and Gary Johnson is the cameraman in Freeze Frame's number 2 helicopter. But right now the story is Team Hydra. This 32-foot Hydratech, being powered by the three 250 Mercury horsepower outboards, is owned by Hydratech Powerboats of Brick, New Jersey. On throttles, you've got Gregory Young from Brick, New Jersey, and it is being driven today by Ed Jones from Union, New Jersey. Gregory W. Young from Brick, New Jersey is your driver of record. So you've got Ed Jones and Gregory Young on throttles, making up the Team Hydra race team. Team Hydra presently in 7th place nationally with point standings. They've had a 4th place finish in the first race this year, so they'd love nothing more to have a good finish here today and try to move up in the point standings. Don't forget, it is a long year, so every race helps. Just picking up those points is what's so valuable here today. One note also we'd like to add. For Team Hydra and the Hydratech Powerboat Company, they use the same hull as for the Hydratech Pleasure Boat versions, which feature full interiors with heads and king-side berths, as well as a 12x8 cockpit. So, Team Hydra, they can satisfy your race needs as well as your pleasure boating needs. There's an up-close view of the crew consisting of Greg Young and Ed Jones. From Sarasota, Florida, Team Hydra having a very fine run today in the P class. And there, coming into the background of your picture, is Freeze Frame's Copter number 1. This is being piloted today by Paul Barth, Jeff Girardi, our executive producer, doing the camera work, Castine taking still photos, and John Provenzano from the Heat Is On race team is spotting today in Copter 1. So there you've been able to enjoy the ride of Team Hydra, as well as the exclusive coverage of a 2-helicopter shoot for offshore powerboat racing. Jeff Girardi and Castine doing a fine job of video as well as still photography for Freeze Frame Video Productions. Now we come up on the Vigilante race team, S54. Once again, a 24-foot skater catamaran powered by twin 200 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned and driven by Michael Moritz from St. Louis, Missouri, and on throttles is George Peterson from West Islip, New York. The Vigilante race team, as you remember, they were off to a great start. They were in that lead group of boats, but unfortunately they went off course. They were leading that group of boats, but they were off course. So obviously it has certainly put a damper on their progress here today. They're not running in the top 3 boats right now, which is unfortunate because Vigilante seem to be dialed in very strong today. So there's a tough break for them on the navigational part of this race, but we'll have to see what happens. With a decent finish, they will pick up points nationally because right now at the present time, Vigilante is in 4th place, and as we said, there's a mere 400 points separating the 4th place boat from the 1st place boat. So any possible finish will help any boats that are in the stock class. Moritz and Peterson have had a fairly good campaign so far for 89, and George Peterson, who could forget all his great rides in the Freeze Frame Video Boat or East Coast Rider. George Peterson has been throttling A-class boats or the stock class boats for so many years now. He's certainly a proven war veteran out here in the open waters of offshore powerboat racing. He brings a lot of experience to help Michael Moritz and form the Vigilante race team. They're having a good run, tough break with a navigational problem, but as you can see, this boat is continuing to run very strong and the hard-charging Vigilante racing from Sarasota, Florida. Now we have Skater Express on the inside, Hat Trick on the outside. Two stock boats still running very strong. They were in that lead group of boats originally, but also they went off course as the other boats did, so everyone's running as hard as they can now to try to make up some lost ground. On the inside it's Skater Express, and on the outside it's Hat Trick. Once again, Skater Express driving Joe Jacobson, Chip Hackman on throttles for Skater Express, and on the outside you've got Hat Trick. Marshall Buda, your driver, and Terry Ayers on throttles. Hat Trick is in third place nationally right now in the stock division, and in New Orleans they did take a first place in our last race, catapulting them to third place, so they certainly want to improve on that. And Skater Express is your first place boat nationally. Tough break for them, being that they went off course. And there's Vigilante in your picture, George Peterson's Vigilante race team. Peterson on throttles right there, Hat Trick coming up on them. Everyone's trying to make up ground and scramble toward the finish, because every point is going to help, because as you can see, as we mentioned earlier on, the stock class point separation is so close that even a fifth place finish can really make the difference, as the end of the year points will be tabulated. So they're all charging hard and they want to have a good run. The battle rages on in stock class between Vigilante, Hat Trick. Skater Express is also in the picture, and on the very far outside, I believe that's Little Caesars, one of your open boats coming in, super boats coming into the picture. He's charging toward the finish, and these stock boats are all going for the finish. Unofficially, I think they're all dueling for a third place spot right now. So they're going all out. We've got Vigilante in the front. In the middle of your picture, that's Hat Trick, and on the inside, it's Skater Express. Hat Trick presently in third place of this group, Vigilante on the outside with a slight lead over Skater Express. As you can see, these boats have been running in almost the identical position for over 70 miles as they're heading toward the finish. So they're so evenly matched. The parity in stock class is exciting, and it makes for some very good racing. It's always too close to call in the stock class. To illustrate this, just look how close these three boats are running right now, just as they were in the beginning of our telecast. Vigilante, the blue boat, Hat Trick cutting across the wake of Skater Express, and they're all charging toward the finish. We'll have to wait and see what happens here at Sarasota, Florida. Now we come up on S43, the Ravon race team. This is a 25-foot Talon catamaran powered by twin 200 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned and throttled by Milford Ingemort from Teaneck, New Jersey, and driving today he's got Peter Fuchs from Hackensack, New Jersey, the Ravon race team. Ravon is enjoying a very good run right now in today's race. He's dueling with Conch Attack and holding off the hard-charging Skater Express who you saw earlier on. Ravon had a very good run. Obviously, he did the right moves from a navigational point of view, which was very smart, thus putting him in the commanding position that he has right now, and he's dueling it out with Conch Attack. Very good maneuvering by Milford Ingemort in the Ravon race team. The black and silver Talon is a very pretty boat. So as Ingemort charges hard to the finish, bringing Ravon in, hopefully he can hold off the hard-charging group that is behind him that consisted of Skater Express, Vigilante, and Hat-Trick. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but he's doing everything he can right now. These boats are going all out as they head toward the start-finish line. From Sarasota, it's the Ravon race team. And with Sarasota in the background, and you can get an idea of some of the many thousands of spectators who have come out to line this race course for the 5th annual Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix. It's truly a great race, and just look at all those boats gathered in there for today's viewing. Certainly a fine race. And these are going to be our final two boats that we're going to cover as we head toward the finish. It's Skater Express and Vigilante charging hard for the finish. This could be for 3rd place right now. Oh, that's unofficial. We're not totally sure, but we will be bringing you official results in just moments after the conclusion of today's race. But that's Skater Express and Vigilante charging toward the finish. Vigilante with a slight lead right now over Skater Express. We'll just have to wait and see who's going to have the most boat right now. When you really need it, who's going to have it? Skater Express trying to close that gap. So we'll just have to wait and see as these two boats charge for home. We're going to stay with these two boats as they head toward the start-finish boat, and then moments after that, we'll be bringing you the official results of the 5th annual Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix from Sarasota, Florida. Right there you get some idea of the move Skater Express is making now on Vigilante. He's closed the gap. There's mere boat length separating these two boats right now for 3rd place. Very exciting stock class. Nothing but the best in the APBA offshore powerboat racing. And the Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix also brings out the best that everyone has to offer, and you're enjoying it right now. So let's sit back and enjoy a photo finish as Vigilante on the inside and Skater Express on the outside heads toward the start-finish of the 5th annual Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix. And in just moments after that, we'll be bringing you the final results. So let's watch Skater as he makes his move. Well, it seems that Skater Express has made his move, and he will be able to hold off Vigilante. Skater's definitely made the move. He's starting to stretch out his lead, as you can see right there over Vigilante, to take 3rd place, and Vigilante thusly will wind up in 4th place. A great move by Skater.